What's going on, everybody? This is BitWZan, and I'm doing a Capture the Point this week. I'm joined by our moderator for this week's Capture the Point is going to be Mezentius.
Hello.
And then we have our two challengers. The first is Minister E.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
And the next challenger is going to be Secret Kittty.
You're like a boxing announcer.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be fun.
He's going to be the intro guy.
Bruce Buffer.
That's my job.
Yeah, Bruce Buffer.
You're the MC.
But we are doing our Capture the Point debate contest today. And for anyone not familiar with the rules, this is what we got going on. We have one moderator today. That is going to be Mez. He will be handing out 2 questions to our challengers, Minister and Kittty. They'll have, 3 minutes? 3 minutes each for an opening statement, and then a 10-minute open battle royale round where they just go at each other. They'll pretty much try to convince Mez of their argument or of their point, however they want to phrase it. And then whoever wins that round goes to the second round. If there's a tie, Mez would dish out his tiebreaker question, and that'll decide who the winner will be. So I actually, before we start, I actually went back and actually was like listening around and stuff like that. I found out kind of like what the records are. So Mez and I think we're 2-1 each because you lost to me the last one.
Yeah.
Kittty and Minister are both 0-2.
So this is oh man.
So this is gonna be somebody's gonna get a W on this one.
Oh no! So someone could be at the bottom of the list.
Yep, this is gonna decide who's gonna be like the bottom tier person here. So
It's probably gonna be.
this is gonna be actually there's some stake. There's some stake in this battle. I thought we all thought it wasn't gonna mean anything, but there's actually there's some stuff here now.
The pressure is too.
But I'll be handing over the rings over to Mezentius. Mez.
All right. So you guys, they were given the questions early on this week to get their picks in. And for the first question, we have, who is the best video game hero that's a female? Best female video game hero. So, let's flip a coin here. Let's see, Kittty, you want heads or tails?
Tails.
Flipping a coin, and tails it is. So, Kittty, who's gonna go first?
Wow. Was it a real life coin?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Not Minister's little mental coin.
Mental coin.
Got the S and the cord flipped.
I'm gonna let Minister go first.
All right, Minister, you gonna start us off. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I am ready now.
All right, so we're gonna start our 3-minute timer in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, the choice I made for the best female heroine in a video game was Nina from Breath of Fire 1, a game for the Super Nintendo. Now, a lot of people might not be familiar with her because Super Nintendo is very old. That's back in my day. But I will give you a background story on the character. Nina is not the main character of the story, but the second character that you can use. The hero just goes to Nina's village and takes a nap. But while all this is going on, the world is being attacked by evil entity that's trying to take over through one of his pupils. And he's taken out individual kingdoms that could pose a threat. It turns out that Nina's father, the king of their village, was poisoned, and now their whole village, their whole army, kind of doesn't know what to do and are, pretty much demoralized because their king was that smart and that much of a battle tactician. And Nina takes it upon herself to try to find the cure. Now, she tries to find the cure without the hero. She doesn't ask the hero for help or anything. She goes up, two bodyguards find her, sneaking off to go try to find this cure, and they go with her. She has a battle with a being way stronger than her, and they end up, her and the bodyguards end up getting tricked into fighting in an area where there's a poison that only affects their race, and she sacrifices herself pretty much to send those two guards back because they had the better chance being stronger to make it back, being pursued. So, long story short, she puts herself in harm's way for her people, has a realistic mindset in sacrificing herself, and knowing the only way to get a message back to a village is to send the strongest warrior. She keeps the party pretty much alive throughout the rest of the game when she actually gets saved by the hero. And they join forces. And she's also not Mary Sue to where, she has all this stuff equipped. She's very inexperienced, and she's self-aware of that and allows other people to lead the team even though she's a princess. And that's all I have for Nina from Breath of Fire 1.
All right. It's a good use of your time there. All right, Kittty, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, you can start in 3, 2, 1.
So my female hero that I picked was Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series. So far, they've made 16 games for her, and 2 movies that we don't really talk about. She is iconic. Anytime somebody cosplays her or anything like that, people recognize her very easily in her old costume and in the new ones. She's multi-talented, being knowledgeable in history, hand-to-hand combat, the use of weapons, and survival skills. Her adventures have taken her, obviously, throughout the world, and she's found amazing artifacts and fought many foes, not just one. And now that the game has been rebooted, I feel like a lot of new people are pouring in. New fans are coming in, and the old ones are rejoiced again that it's been rebooted and it's been done in such a cool way. She's just a badass, and she doesn't have to be saved, by some other person to be the hero in her game. And that's it.
All right. So, are you guys ready for a nice open floor debate?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
The trap was set.
A nice friendly open floor debate here.
As friendly
Nice.
as possible. I'll have nothing but good things to say.
Front row seats to the
Alright.
battle of the century.
In 3, 2, 1. Let the bloodbath begin.
Wasn't Nina saved multiple times by Ryu? How can she be a heroine if she has to be saved constantly?
Well, she had to be saved because the bad guy set a trap just for her race. So
But
her race was affected by a certain poison, and that was the only reason why her and the bodyguards couldn't beat the guy. So it has depth to it. It has depth to it. Lara Croft is perfect in every way as a Mary Sue. She's athletic. She's got perfect aim with her guns. She's smarter than all the villains. No, that aim depends
on you.
It's like
there is no depth to your character. She's just a princess that helps everybody. Oh my god, we haven't seen that before.
She's a princess that only cared for the benefit of her people and joined together
like she's supposed to
with a group to try to
that's
save
what
her
royalty
village.
was supposed
her village
to
is
do.
being targeted because they are a threat. It's like they're winged warriors that could be a threat. So she's trying to do the best thing for her people. Lara Croft is just some Indiana Jones clone, and they decided to make it a woman when developing the game just to make sure it wasn't seen as an Indiana Jones clone. There's no depth to Lara Croft whatsoever.
There's
The
so
thing
much
that
more
brought
depth. You've obviously not played the games if you don't think
Oh,
there's
I
depth there.
played the games, and that's why those reboots happened. Because the first game, oh yeah, see this girl with big boobs do a handstand very slowly to get
Okay,
up a
men are
level, to get
objectified
up
as well.
one ledge. Like the game just didn't make
All
any sense. You're going
all
around
women
walking
in video
around for
games are objectified, but so are the men. Men are huge with muscles, so it doesn't really mean anything. All video games are like non-realistic. We
Lo-
already know that.
Lara
So for
Croft
her to
had
have
to
big
be
boobs,
rebooted because it's when you look at the original Lara Croft,
because
it's embarrassing of what they made and gave you before. The first thing you see, yeah, this chick with big
what
boobs
is
and two
embarrassing is having
guns,
to be saved all
two
the time by
guns.
somebody else. You can't even be the heroine and save yourself.
Nina has
And her
depth.
and
Nina
the
has
game is
actual
all
depth
about
to
their
her.
love story between her and Ryu. There's no love story in Tomb Raider. It doesn't need it.
Oh, there's no love story between
Her and
Nina
Ryu?
and Ryu. No,
Yes, there is.
no,
Yes,
there
there
isn't.
is. Don't
They,
deny it.
they, they
And
are they are
nobody could even say
two
anything because nobody even
teenagers
knows
who are
anything
working
about
together.
those
Of course,
games.
there's a slight attraction, but they're focused strictly on the mission.
Yeah, right. No, it's not. It's a love story. You
It
know
is
it.
not a
And
love story.
yes,
That
it
is for
is.
sure not the
Just
case.
like a lot of other females,
It
if it's
is.
a female, it's gotta have a love story. She can't be a badass.
Well, the
Lara Croft
story for
is
Nina.
comparable to the girl from Kill Bill, where she's badass and she can fight herself way through things, and she's smart.
Hang on now. We can't compare it to Kill Bill because all Kill Bill characters had depth, had weaknesses and strengths. What's Laura's weaknesses? None.
She's
She's way
still a
smart.
human.
She's way smarter than anyone she faces. She got better aim than them. She's better
That
athleticism.
depends on the person if you can
I
aim or
mean,
not. She's
two.
smart. Do you remember those Tomb Raider puzzles in like Tomb Raider 1 and 2? That shit was hard.
Oh my goodness.
That's another line. That shit was hard.
Tomb Raider. Also,
She
the
is
original Tomb Raider.
smart.
Just a game where you're walking around. Oh yeah, I'm exploring. Oh, there's a tiger out here. Outside
Those
of this,
tigers were awesome.
outside, just in some kind of tomb somewhere, just out of the norm. Like, just nothing
Okay,
about
let's
Lara
talk
Croft
about
made sense.
the generic image of Nina. She's gotta be some angel with blonde hair and blue wings, right? Yeah, that's real in depth right there.
Yeah, that's different. It's a race. You know, the fact that she could be
Okay.
affected by a poison, the fact that she's inexperienced, she knows it, even though she had the right.
So how is she a heroine if she can't even protect herself
to take
or
control
her
of the group.
people?
But
She can't even save herself or her people.
She does end up saving her people, and she saves the group.
No,
that
it's
the main
Ryu that
character's
ends up
with,
saving them.
because she's
The main
only,
character.
She's the
Let's-
only
let's-
healer in the group, and you cannot get through that game without her.
Oh
healing.
my god, the female is the healer? How deep is that?
She's also
Please.
the
That's
best
so
actress.
shout. They're always the healers.
She is way more defined than Lara Croft.
No, she's not. It's just a love story. Because she has a love story makes her defined. I don't think
the skinny
so.
waist and all the guns, the little
Just-
2 guns she has on the waist. That's just
Okay, because her
perfect for a
tiny
poster.
skirt isn't a thing.
Poster,
Her tiny
that's it.
skirt isn't a thing. Nina's tiny skirt.
No,
That's
that's
not
just that's the
okay.
style of her people. You know, that's just a different race.
Hose?
That's their
Hose
style.
is the style of her people.
You gotta admit that Lara Croft had no depth, and that's why the reboots are coming. That's why they're
It
like,
always
oh, yeah,
did.
we gotta
That's
do
why
her
there's so
when she's
many
younger,
games because
before
they
she
wanted to
became
keep
a
expanding on
superwoman,
it.
before
Unlike
she became the perfect Mary Sue,
whatever,
that she has all the
Breath of Fire.
tools to win.
Cause she's a badass. She's smart. She actually did training. What has Nina done? Nothing. Sat around in her fucking castle and waited to be rescued by Ryu. Is that how you say his name?
What training?
Just like
did
every
Lara
other
Croft
princess.
have? Lara Croft had no training whatsoever. Come on.
Yes, she does.
She's just
You
The
think
way
you
she
can just
is.
aim a gun? No. Hand-to-hand combat doesn't come
But Laura Croft can.
naturally.
With two little dualies, she could take out anything. Two handguns could take out anything with perfect shot. No one has
No,
perfect
she
shot
has
like
a
that
harpoon
in the world.
sometimes. She
At
has
least
other
Nina
weapons.
has a knife, and what does she do? She doesn't have the power to kill things without flying in the air and coming down with her weight. That's more depth than just Laura just
Her,
looking out
what,
the window and
85
shooting
pound weight?
something
Please.
300 feet
Like,
away with a handgun
she
right in the
weighs
eye.
like 85 pounds.
So, come on. There's no depth
So,
to Laura Croft whatsoever.
there's no
And
depth
that
to
is
Nina. She's
why
just a princess that
Nina
has
is
to be
better.
rescued by the real main character of her game.
It's like Laura Croft
She's just a
is pretty
side
much
character.
Laura Croft is a superwoman of gaming, or the Superman of gaming on the woman's side, where she just can't be hurt, but she doesn't have kryptonite or any weaknesses, so she's no
Yes, she does.
interest
She's still a
whatsoever.
human. She still dies.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
you
don't think
do.
so
That's
at
the whole
all.
point of the game. If you get shot, you still die.
Yeah, but look at the storyline of it, though. If you follow the storyline of her, she pretty much waltzed through. Other than you playing the game itself, the storyline is she went through basically unharmed against impossible odds, has perfect aim, has perfect athleticism, outrunning and outjumping any
Yeah,
Olympian
it's
that she's
called
going
training.
against.
It's
Come
called
on.
training.
With
Okay,
no
you're
with
talking
no
about
muscle mass
realism?
to
That
back
doesn't
it up.
even make sense.
Come
It's a
on.
video game. This race of people don't exist either.
Laura Croft is just too unbelievable of a character to follow.
Unbelievable.
She doesn't get sick
You're
either.
talking
So
about
come
a whole
on.
race of humans. She's actually Lara Croft is actually relatable because she's still a human. You can learn history. You can learn survival skills, hand-to-hand combat, and how to use weapons. You can learn all of
But
those
not to
things.
be
You
able to
can
do
never
all
be a
those
princess
things
in a castle having to be
perfectly.
rescued.
Not to do all
That's
those
just a
things
false
perfectly.
it's a false thing that little girls grow up being a princess and being rescued by some guy. She doesn't need that. Nina does though,
Nina
because she's
saved her
so
people and did
one-dimensional
the smart thing. She did the smart thing and sent
and
for
waited
backup when she saw the situation was grim.
because
And
she
only
needed
did it
backup.
when she saw the
She
situation
needed
was grim.
backup
Laura doesn't need backup because she just go into a room and just
because
start
she's prepared.
shooting with her eyes closed, and everybody in the room will be dead. Oh wow,
It's because
real
she's
interesting
prepared.
character there.
Lara Croft is prepared. She has the skill set.
It's like, oh, shoot a machine gun at Laura Croft. She does a couple of flips, and none of the bullets touch her.
Can you do any
Fantastic,
flips? I don't think so.
fantastic. What a perfect hero. But
You
I
made
think
me
that's
talk a
it.
lot.
I
I
think
think
that's it
that's
for
it too.
us. I think
Yeah.
we aired
All
out our
right,
gripes.
all right. So we'll end it there. So
How long was that?
that was like 9 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, it's not 10
No,
minutes.
and
Well,
so before we get into the final decision, I'll
I-
give you guys each like a minute to give like a nice closing statement. So Kitty, you go first on this one, and you can start now.
Um. So yeah, Lara Croft is a badass who doesn't have to have a one-dimensional love story or be rescued by somebody else in her own video game. And she's had lots of games, and this recent reboot is even more amazing now that they can add a lot more things to it. As in before they couldn't. It was on a PlayStation 1. How many? I don't remember how many megabytes one of those PlayStation discs held, but it was not a lot. So you can relax with that. That's it for me.
Okay, Minister, your closing statement.
So Nina by far is the better heroine. Just because Laura Croft is not really a heroine, she's just an unbeatable, unbelievable Mary Sue type character. Nina has depth. The only reason why she's not much more of a popular character is because it was on the Super Nintendo, a lot less bits than the PlayStation. The character is self-aware, pretty much is a hero, that asked for help when she needed it at that time. But for the most part, was fighting all the battles herself until got poisoned. Which we don't even know if Laura Croft could get poisoned at this point either. So You just can't follow
She's still
behind
a
a
human.
heroine that has no depth. At least Nina has depth to her. So sending those guys away, when realizing the situation is grim, that's something you don't really hear from the typical, any hero, in fact, not just females. So I'm going with
All
Nina
right.
all the way.
All right. So, you guys,
That was
that was
interesting.
really good.
I gotta say, that's probably your guys' best argument.
Yeah.
The fact, not
Jesus.
like just like the research, but the fact that like both of you guys are like,
We believe
you're actually going after
we
it.
believe
Yeah,
in
you're
these
going at each other and
characters.
stuff like that. You felt it. You guys were just like, yeah, kind of just like, yeah. But this time, yeah, I felt it. This is like I was like, get into it. I was like, get in there.
Yeah, they were both like really good arguments. Like I thought, I thought I would lean one way or the other, but like both
Wait.
had really good arguments of why their heroine was better.
Wait, you guys didn't like that? My X-Men description? or
X-Men.
my X-Men and my Xavier one? For the debates?
No, that one was good.
I thought those were good. Oh, man.
The debates they were okay.
Oh, jeez.
You kind of get hung up on like the same stuff over and over again.
Betcha. Yeah, because it's good.
Yeah, but like to touch on some of the points that kind of like led me to my final decision here is like they had the whole thing with Lara Croft, kind of her being her own hero pretty much and doing stuff on her own, and then you had on the other side you had Nina, who was kind of like the self-sacrificing hero in that kind of way. And I feel like for me the one that kind of led more towards hero would be Nina. So they got the win, and it's because of that where he stated is like that she went in there, got poisoned, and realized like read the situation pretty much, and sent back the bodyguards, and kind of like sacrificed herself for her people. And you can't really say that for Lara Croft because she was more of a self-serving thing, just exploring tombs. So while she's a main character, I felt like Nina was more of a hero in that aspect. So she got the win.
Weren't they in that situation
If
only
you could-
because
if
of
you
her
could
fault
see
in
my
the
face-
first place?
No.
Yeah, they were.
Their kingdom was about to get destroyed. If they didn't find the cure for the king, their whole troops would have lost their morale.
Kitty,
Nina
I
knew
didn't know
what
the
was going on.
situation because I didn't do any research. I was just going by what was told to me in the debates. So I mean, if you brought up the point during the debate,
I
would
don't know if that was
I
true.
will-
I just made that up.
Okay.
I will say though, like Nina and Ryu were absolutely a romantic interest. They were absolutely like love interests the whole
I
time.
had to fight that off somehow. I was like, damn. I was like, she did do some research. Hold on.
That's why I was like, it's just a love story.
It's
He's
not
just
a love
saving
story.
her all the time. Yes, it is.
That's yeah.
It's not
I went the other way. To be honest, I went with Lara Croft because I was on the point of Kitty saying like, what is so different about Nina's story that he couldn't have brought up from any other RPG
Yeah.
type story? Like it's kind of like the same
If
storyline with
Nina
this
didn't get
thing. Whereas
if Nina didn't get
Lara
affected
Croft
by
is
that,
more original.
If Nina didn't get affected by that gas, Ryu would have no longer been in the story. Because it was Nina's mission to stop this guy from taking over.
Yeah.
Being
I would
that her
say-
being that her kingdom was first on the line to be targeted, that's why she asked the dude for help. Like, hey, we're going after this guy. We could use you since you helped us already. He wasn't in the picture until she got poisoned.
Yeah, that's how I was saying. Like,
They were gonna do it in solo.
opposed to like everything else that was like a classic RPG, I think that was that one story element is kind of what like did it for me.
okay,
That was the beginning of the game.
yeah,
too.
you're the final decision.
Yeah.
I like I said, my thing. I went the other way, but yeah, Mez's final decision. So
Yeah, boy.
all right, so that's
right decision.
Minister 1 point.
All right,
Every other field.
Come on, Kitty. Don't give up.
and up next we have what was the worst
This should be a good one.
video game adaptation into a
Oh,
movie?
Lord.
This is gonna be a good one.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
So we had Minister go first last time. So Kitty, why don't you start us off this time? Let me
Okay.
get my timer ready. And are you ready, Kitty?
Yeah.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, go.
So for the worst movie I chose is Mario Brothers. So back in 1983, when the Mario Brothers game first came out, everybody loved it. You know, it's for a lot of people, it was like one of their first loves in video game, and like gave them that downward spiral of always wanting to play. Um, wait, no, I got lost. So okay, so when the movie came out in 1993, everybody was excited for it. There was a lot of marketing for it. It was in magazines, it was everywhere. And then when people finally saw it, it was probably the hugest letdown ever. Um, so there's not a lot of story in Mario Brothers that is usable for real world, but the writers took a lot of liberty with it, and the story makes no sense with the game. The references that they make to parts in the game are only references in the way that they just share the same name. They have nothing to do with anything. The villains themselves weren't even anything close to what the villains were in like the video game, as in like Bowser and his henchmen were just references to like smaller characters. And it is easy to see why this movie was easily forgotten right after, because Jurassic Park came right after it. And it was just forgotten. I didn't even know it existed until a couple months ago when we were talking about it. And that's it.
All right.
Strong opening, strong pick.
Yeah. Minister, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. You can start in 3, 2, 1.
So, the worst video game adaptation I chose was none other than Street Fighter. This movie was one of the highest anticipated movies out there, and for that reason, everybody went to see it the first week. The lore, however, of the game, from the game to movie, was completely destroyed. The premise was about Bison having a couple of hostages and wanting $20 million for it. That was the premise, and Guile was there to go save them. Ken and Ryu, who were supposed to be the main characters in the game, are sub-characters hired by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And yes, I said Jean-Claude Van Damme, not Guile, because that's who was in the movie. Almost 80% of the actors were not from the places that they were in the game. E Honda's character was Hawaiian. T-Hawk was not any kind of Mexican, he's just American.
T-Hawk was Native American, so.
Yeah, he was Native American, and he wasn't, but in the movie, he was just some guy, some regular, Caucasian guy. DJ did not have a Jamaican accent, but tried. I mean, the whole casting of Street Fighter was pretty much terrible. Bison was made out to be a more humorous character than supposed to be some scary bad guy. The martial arts in the movie, which is what the game is about, is completely weak and laughable, to the point where people compared the techniques being used in the movie as to when a 5 or 4-year-old tries to do a move that they see on TV. So this movie just did not have anything close to where people were expecting for the game. And the movie just became one big joke. The worst part was a lot of actors in this movie got their careers completely killed because the movie didn't do anything for them. So other than, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kylie Minogue, and Raul Julia, who played Bison, unfortunately had cancer and passed away. Nobody else got famous off this movie. Only people that were already famous coming into the movie were famous. It did that bad. No one wanted to cast any of the other actors in another movie again. So Street Fighter is definitely the worst adaptation, the biggest letdown from a video game to movie out there. It
All
also
right.
came out a year
That's your
later than Mario.
that's your 3
That's
minutes.
time.
That's your
You
time.
can't go over time.
All right. So, are you guys ready
Man.
for the open floor battle?
Yeah, the
Suppose.
friendly battle.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Okay. So, in 3, 2, 1.
At least your movie had famous people in it. All right, that's some effort into that movie.
Well, from what my understanding, the guy that played Bowser was actually a good actor and actually did a good job in the movie. I mean, he wasn't. He
Uh,
didn't look like a giant, turtle monster, but he was actually done pretty
you
well.
don't even know his name though.
I don't know any actors' names.
You know John Von Clet, whatever his name is. I don't know his name.
Who doesn't know
John,
John Claude Van
John,
Damme?
how do you say it?
Yeah, but
John
we,
Claude
I
Van
could
Damme.
tell.
You know his name
I could tell you
because
that
he's
the bad
famous.
guy from Mario Brothers was the same bad guy in Speed, which he also did a fantastic role in that. So they got a really good
Okay,
guy to play
some
the
guy
bad guy.
doesn't help if you don't even know his name.
I'm very bad with names, but Street Fighter
But you
is
know
is a
John
worse
Claude
movie.
Van Damme. And you know the other guy's name, Bison. That
Mario,
movie had a lot of potential. And I have to add, there was one scene that was pretty funny in it. And I'm gonna talk about the one where there's a truck coming in and they're watching it on TV. And one guy's like, change the channel.
so
Somebody quick, change the channel.
the highlight of a martial arts
That-
movie that's supposed to be a martial arts game was one comedy scene. That is a bad adaptation. It's a much worse adaptation than Mario.
At least there's something
Mario
memorable from your movie.
So
This
the
is
Mario
so
Brothers.
weird to argue like the
Let's talk-
opposite.
Let's talk about the Mario Brothers. Okay. So Mario
Okay,
Brothers, there's
let's talk
two
about
brothers.
them.
There's two brothers. And there's two
Oh
brothers
yeah,
in the movie.
maybe add What's
There
his
is-
name?
there is a
Mario.
good-
Mario is his last name too. Mario Brothers.
So the lore of your movie is actually intact.
What?
It's the-
This shit was all over
They
the
are
place.
plumbers.
It was crazy.
They're two plumbers. They're going up against,
Uh-huh.
an evil bad guy, which Koopa was some kind of turtle demon, but they never really showed it. But you saw him.
Oh, no,
you saw him
they
changing it. So your movie at least had the lore of your video game.
Not
Street Fighter
really.
didn't even follow
Because let me
the
tell you
lore
the
of
movie
ours.
synopsis, okay? Let me tell you the movie synopsis. Alright. Two plumbers have nothing to do with anything in the world. They meet an archaeologist, Daisy. Princess Daisy? Why not Princess Peach, who is like the main
But
character?
they are two plumbers.
Or not the main
But
character.
they are two plumbers, though.
That's
okay?
literally the only thing besides names of references.
No.
That-
no.
Yeah, like everything else has nothing to do with
They
anything.
went
Anyways,
down pipes.
Princess
They
Daisy
went down
is looking.
pipes.
Oh my god!
And they fought
Princess
against
Daisy is
Koopa.
looking for dinosaur bones under New York City, and then like Bowser is not. Oh, what is his name? Koopa, whatever his name is, because they didn't call him Bowser, and Lord of the Koopa is his name, but they
Yeah.
just named him Koopa for some reason because that makes sense.
And they did have Goombas in the movie. They had actual Goombas
Only
in
by
the movie.
name.
No, but they had them in the movie. They had
Only by
creatures.
name. It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, they had them
Anyways,
in the movie. I remember their faces.
Anyways, they transform Koopa back into whatever race he was from, but he wasn't even. That was the opportunity to make him look like Bowser, and they didn't even do it. He just looks like a dinosaur or a lizard person. Which he, might I
Essentially
add,
is
he's
what
from
he is.
he's from another dimension. What are we even talking about right now?
Yeah, that's
Him and his
that's the
people
Mario
are like.
Brothers. Well, Mario is an actual plumber that went
Yeah.
through a pipe and went to another dimension. That seems like the lore is intact. Street Fighter.
Is that the lore?
a bunch of hostages.
It's because
being
I
held
couldn't
for
tell
$20
because that
million?
doesn't make any sense.
Oh, come on. That
No,
movie
it
is
doesn't.
better.
That story
movie
is
way
all
better.
over the place.
That movie is way better than Street Fighter.
And then the mushroom guy, whatever his name is, he's just this fungus all over the place, and it's gross. It looks gross.
But it's still a mushroom, so it's not
Actually,
It's not a carrot.
it's not.
It's not
It's
a radish or anything like that. It actually matches up. Not like taking.
mushroom and funguses are
Not,
different, actually. So yeah,
It's not like
and he was
taking
just a
a
fungus
guy
throughout
from
most of
Belgium
it.
and saying you're going to play this American actor. You're going to play this American role, to be in the army. Or take a Hawaiian guy and say you're going to
Where
play
is he from?
A Japanese sumo. We're going to take a Hawaiian guy and make him play a Japanese sumo. It wasn't that bad. They still
It
got most of the
wasn't that
stuff
bad.
locked.
People
The Mario
forgot
Brothers had
about it
everything locked at
instantly.
least.
People forgot about this movie instantly. Nobody talks about it because they want to pretend that it
I
doesn't
remember some
exist.
people saying, "Oh, the
Just
movie
like,
wasn't that bad." I remember people saying that. I remember when it came out. Some people say it's not bad.
were they also
Now,
little kids when they watched it and they were like, yeah,
now for
Mario
Street
Brothers,
Fighter,
yeah.
even the little kids said it was bad. No one liked
No,
that
it
movie.
wasn't. I knew
Everybody said
that
it was
existed
terrible.
and I don't know a lot about movies.
Everybody said Street Fighter was bad. The biggest
It had
letdown of
famous
all
actors in
time.
it.
And they couldn't save the movie.
And your characters looked somewhat like the other like they're supposed to. Not all of them, but some of them did. They actually made an
They're
appearance.
not even from the same place that they're supposed to be from. Come on. Street Fighter, hands down, was the worst. Casting, storyline, everything. I bet you ask people now, they don't remember the storyline because it was so weak. Oh yeah,
But they remember that the movie
we
existed, unlike the
got 40
Mario Brothers.
hostages and we want $20 million. That's what Bison wants. That is it. And God's
At
going in
least
there
it
with the
has
army
some
to go
highlights.
save them. The
It
end.
has it has some highlights in that movie that are memorable. It has actors that are memorable.
You just said the memorable line. You said the one memorable line. That
Yeah,
was it. That was it.
what memorable line is there in Mario Brothers? Nobody knows
In
because nobody watches it
Mario
anymore.
Brothers,
They pretend that it doesn't
the
exist.
whole movie is memorable. The movie wasn't that bad. The only thing people had against Mario Brothers was that Mario was not jumping on top of a Goomba.
Are you
And the
kidding me?
Goombas were in the movie.
That story
That
doesn't
was
make
it.
any sense.
That was it. But they were
That
plumbers.
story
They
makes no
fit
sense.
the plot. They
And
fit
it's
the
just a
lore.
generic take over the world story, just like every other bad person wants to
The
do.
the
Take over
only
the world,
the
can
only
make them.
lore that failed in Mario Brothers was what you said was with the princess. But everything else was on point.
No, it wasn't.
Koopa was on point. He had
Who's
Goombas that
Koopa?
worked
I
for him.
think his name is Bowser. And they didn't even name him that.
They had the Mario Brothers as plumbers, and it was two brothers. Everything was linking up.
Why is his name Mario though?
That's his name in the game. They matched the lore. Street Fighter didn't even match the lore or the places where
No,
people
they
came from.
didn't. There is no lore in Mario Brothers like that. It makes no sense. The writers just went crazy because it was during that time was the '90s craze of dinosaurs, so they just had to make a dinosaur. That's the only
And
reason
that's
it was
believable.
that.
We could believe that Koopa is a dinosaur turtle-looking
He's
thing. We
not
know
though.
he's a big
He's
lizard of
not a
some sort.
dinosaur.
It matches
He's
the lore a lot better than Street Fighter did.
no.
And that's at least something the
At,
Mario Brothers
at
could
least
take
Street
away.
Fighter had fighting scenes, which what it was supposed to have, right?
Not
It's
good
a
fighting
fighting game.
scenes, and it wasn't
It
about a
was the
tournament.
'90s. What do you expect?
And if Mario Brothers was so bad, well, Street Fighter would have
Huh?
learned from them or something. Street Fighter came out after Mario Brothers and was still worse. So Street Fighter had no excuse whatsoever.
They're not
Mario
in relation to each other, so why would they learn from
Mario
anything?
Brothers came out first as a video game adaptation and still was considered a better movie than Street Fighter.
No, it wasn't. Nobody even
Yes,
knows
it
it
was.
exists.
Yes, it was. It is
My throat
by
hurts.
far.
All right,
What's
so
that?
are you guys done?
Yeah, we're done.
I think
It sounds like it was
This is
dwindling
tough.
down.
Yeah, this is tough.
right.
We're both bad
it's
movies.
weird arguing why things are better.
Interesting.
All right. So, Minister, give you a minute. Give your closing statement.
Okay. So I'm going again with Street Fighter. The biggest letdown, the one thing the Street Fighter could have done was at least take people from their respective countries and places. When DJ spoke, me being a Jamaican, And hearing him trying to speak Jamaican, I was like, oh, they didn't even find a real Jamaican. And then as the movie went on, I just realized Guile is not American. T-Hawk is not Native American. It's like just going down the list. It's almost as if they didn't put any effort, or the person that wrote the movie never played a Street Fighter game. At least for Mario Brothers, you had Koopa, you had Goombas, and you had two plumbers going down pipes fighting monsters, which is exactly what the Mario Brothers is. The Mario Brothers stuck to the lore at least more than Street Fighter did. Let's go.
All right, Kittty, your 1 minute closing statement.
So obviously, still Mario Brothers is the worst movie. The story they completely made up, and they didn't even try it. If Nintendo had made it themselves, it would have been much better because it was their thing, but it was a third party that made it. And the references to the characters or to like the villains were not even really there. They were only there in name. And it doesn't even make sense. Princess Peach wasn't even in it, and she's pretty iconic. And why is his name Mario Mario? It doesn't make sense to me. And that's it.
Okay. That was so much fun. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of I would say some stuff here because like this was a weird one.
It was.
Let's make his decision.
I was gonna say like some of the stuff you guys were saying was kind of weird. Like Kitty was like,
Mez. I'm pretty sure Mez has his own decision already. He's
Yeah.
not gonna let whatever I say is not gonna influence him. I'm just gonna state some facts.
No,
This
we
is a
don't want to
weird
hear
one.
any facts until Mez has made a decision.
like just like the
Mez,
fact that the Kitty
make a
was saying is like no one knows about this movie. I'm like, I'm pretty sure people know about Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I know that movie.
And the fact that she said there were no famous people in it, it had Bob Hoskins,
John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper.
and Dennis Hopper.
Look,
Like, there was
my
some
debate
pretty-
was with E, not with you
No,
guys.
I know. I'm just like, I know, like that was your argument to try to be like, oh, okay, like to see if he could think of it, and E failed because he didn't even mention Bob Hoskins.
I can't mention any names.
Like, how can you not remember Bob Hoskins? You love that guy
John
too.
Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo, yeah.
I don't know. I'm terrible.
So I was a weird one. Yeah. It felt like this one felt more like you guys just going in like circles. It was funny, but yeah. Kitty, I'm surprised. Like one thing, like Kitty, like for each of you guys, actually, like Kitty, you could have like thrown at him that at least like with Street Fighter, like none of his like the actors regret doing the movie. Like Bob Hoskins hated doing
That's
Mario
because
Brothers.
the actors no longer exist, my friend.
Or
Everybody
careers
who
are
did
done.
Street Fighter, like they know it's a bad movie, but if it kind of falls in that category of like it's bad but good kind of thing, like where you can still watch it and laugh.
Or
Mario Brothers doesn't really do that.
Kitty
No,
also
it's just a full thing of cringe.
without any like going more like the winner is gonna be Mario Brothers. And
I just want to note too that I never watched either of these movies. Just so you
I
know
figured
that.
you
Yeah.
did, yeah, because you weren't throwing out any plot like stuff. You were just you were like I think you like read up something. This happened.
you probably did you look up a list of worst video game adaptations and that was number one?
No, I looked up the ones, like there was a lot of them, and I'm like, I
Yes,
just chose
there-
one that I was most obscure, and Mario Brothers was, I remember you guys talking about it, and that it was bad, and I'm like, yeah, it
like-
seems bad.
It's
You
terrible.
chose a good one. I knew I had a fight on my hands.
There's also the fact that both Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo have admitted to like being drunk while filming the whole movie.
being
Yes.
drunk while filming the movie. Dennis Hopper admitted that he only did it because like he wanted to buy his kids shoes. Like that's it.
Yeah,
Like
but
that's why he did
here's
this.
the thing: all the
You
all
could've-
the actors in Street Fighter had to get drunk after the movie. That's the problem.
What you could have thrown at her was that Mario, even though it doesn't work on a source material, it still kind of works as a cyberpunk, like the cyberpunkish movie or whatever. It works
Oh,
on
yeah.
that level.
The set designer, I think, did
Yeah.
another movie
The
like
set
that.
design was way better than the one in Street Fighter. The set design in Street Fighter was like
Man.
it's been a while since
like low
It's
budget.
been a while since I watched Mario. I should have watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I've never seen
Those
either.
are two good. Those are two good.
yeah,
picks.
the whole
Two
thing
good
too,
picks
like
there.
people not being from their country. It's like the main
Yeah.
character being Gao, not being an
Oh my
American, and
gosh.
with the freaking so like thick of an accent.
Yeah, it's like terrible, man. Like they didn't even try. They just had to get something.
And I know for a fact that E loves Raul Julia as M. Bison. He handed up. One of the most famous lines in like video game history or whatever comes from Raul Julia. He was like, "But for me, it was a Tuesday." Like that's one of the most quoted movie lines.
That's why you notice I kind of stayed away from Bison when I was talking.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was fun.
I thought he was gonna say like Street Fighter gave Raul Julia cancer or something. I was like, is he gonna go there?
Oh my god!
I would have gone
Because he mentioned it, and I was like, is he gonna go there? I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far. That would have been rough.
All right, so I guess we have ourselves a tie, Mez.
Damn it.
Yeah.
As you said, Secret Kitty won this one, right?
So I have a tiebreaker question, and I'm actually not sure if anyone's gonna get this question. It's
oh, brother, here we go. Look, man, we can't be. I'm gonna put it. If it's another like obscure nonsense, I'm gonna put kiboshes on these tiebreakers. They're gonna be handed out from me next time.
Well, at least this one is referenced to a video game.
Okay.
So the question is, name 4 main characters from an Assassin's Creed series, and there's a lot of them. So all you have to do is name 4 of them.
It's just anybody chiming in?
Ezio?
Buzzin', yeah, okay, so Buzzin', you have your 4.
Okay. Ezio is his name, I think. That's the only one I know.
It's probably better than mine. Wait, this is any Assassin's Creed game, though?
Yeah. I'm going to say I'm going to give you
yeah.
guys 10 seconds from when you buzz in to do it. So, Kitty, you only named 1. Minister.
Okay.
Dante?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Artorias
knows it.
What's the name the 3 Musketeers? He won't know the difference. D'Artagnan.
Raul?
His time is
All
up.
right, that's it.
Seconds.
That was up. Time was up.
Oh, man.
Oh,
You wanted the worst part? I watched the Assassin's Creed movie. I can't remember what the character was called. Yeah, they had a movie.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. I watched the entire movie and I don't remember a single character's name. Cheat too.
So does that mean
that
I
was
won?
tough, man.
Yeah,
Damn.
that was tough.
I would say, can you name Andy Zan?
Oh, I know. Not really. I know, like she said, Ezio.
Dear Lord.
Arnos.
I couldn't even guess that one. Chronos.
Arnos.
That's me.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know anybody
You're
else.
actually close with Arno. It's not Arnos. It's Arno.
Oh, Arno.
Yeah.
Oh, the last guy, Namek or whatever his name was. Namek. What's his name?
Bayek.
That was his name.
So
yeah, the new one. Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, I guess I give it to Kitty because at least she got 1.
Yes. Yes.
And the minister drops to the bottom of the list.
Yeah. I knew if I went to a tiebreaker, it would be something that I would have gotten. Oh,
I won 1.
1 and 2. Minister drops to 0 and 3. Oh no.
Oh man.
It was better before we knew the record.
Yeah, you put the pressure on. I tried harder though because of that record.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was fun.
Good. Shit,
I figured too.
Shit.
I'm like with the question. I'm like, this is gonna be a question probably no one but me would know.
So you seriously guys would want to watch Street Fighter again, not Mario Brothers? Was it that bad?
I would probably rather watch Street Fighter than Mario Brothers.
Yeah, because
I would watch Street Fighter more.
Right, you could look at it as a comedy when it's not supposed to be. But
Yeah,
Mario
Mario
Yeah.
Brothers is
Change the
terrible.
channel.
So good pick.
Change, like,
Good pick.
quick, change the channel.
Yeah, like I was saying, like there's a lot of really bad video game movies to pick from.
Yeah.
And Ming Na Wen, she made it out of Street Fighter.
She's in
Chun-Li.
Shield now.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
She's in Shield.
I didn't bring that
She
up.
was
I know
Fa
that.
Mulan.
I know. I didn't bring it up though.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That was good then. Okay.
He's not
That's
going to
good
give
stuff.
the
Yeah,
good things
hell
about
no.
it.
You guys, okay. Now you're learning the arguments. Like, you have the information, but does the other person know that information?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
Secret Kitty got me, I guess, when she said that line. It was like, damn, she looked that up. She looked that up. Probably the best line in Street Fighter. Quick, change the channel. It's like, dead.
It's like
It didn't help that we all laughed, and I was laughing too.
You know what I did? I looked up reviews for both of them. That's what I did.
Oh.
Okay. Just the
Because I've never
Smart
seen
play.
any of those, and then I watched the trailers for them too.
I've seen both movies, and I failed. Oh. Well, Nina's
You
better
weren't
than Lara
prepared.
Croft.
You weren't prepared like Lara Croft. That's why.
Nina beat Lara Croft all the way.
Well, it was the tiebreaker that beat him, really.
Yeah.
So, and now he can blame Mez for that.
Yep, absolutely.
Shitty
Assassin's
Leave Assassin's Creed out of podcast.
That's like me telling you guys to name off characters in Death Warrant.
In
Come on.
what?
Sandman.
In Death Warrant.
Oh.
Sandman.
Only I could win that one because I'm the only one that's seen
Is
that
Burt
movie.
one? Is that one?
Burt, yeah,
I
Burt's
got
another.
two. That's all I can do.
Wasn't there a character named Priest or something?
There you
too?
go. That's gonna be
Yep.
the answer. It's like, no, the only one that matters is the priest. Plays for keeps.
I'm the only one that could have won that one because I'm the only other person that's seen this movie that's in this group,
So that was rough, man.
and it was because Minister forced me to.
The best movie of all time. We need to do that, and I can argue Death Warrant and get that win.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Best movie of all
that's
time.
gonna do it then. There's always next time, Minister.
Oh yeah.
You can get that, try to improve that record, but
Oh.
yeah.
I
man.
won one. I'm so proud of myself right now.
I'm at the bottom of the list.
There's always a next time. But that's going to do it for us here. This is Capture the Point. Tune in next time to see who's going to be the judge, who's going to be the contestant. Mez is still the champ, so people are still gunning for that belt.
I think it's my turn.
Still got to get him off the throne.
it's my turn
Got to
to
get him off the
moderate.
throne.
Oh.
My route will be, yeah. I don't think you've done it, so we might have you do it for next time. Just got to decide who's going to be the contestants, the challengers. But I've been BitW Zan, joined by my good buddies here. Mazenti's on the East Coast, Minister E, and Secret Kitty.
Thanks for having me.
Hey.
Not saying goodbye forever, saying goodbye for now, guys.